In this way, everybody in this world is fooled. We are all fooled. We are all, we are all hypnotized. We are all fooled. So after this Vikshipta, what happens as a consequence is the third level of mind, and that is called Mura. That means we have considered a non-real entity to be real. We have considered something which is completely false to be real, and we have not only started to live within this, we have started to, we have started to exist. We have started to exist within that, and we have come to a conclusion that there is no other truth other than this. So this state of mind is called the third level, and that is called Mura. And this is where the world lives. The world lives in Shipta, Vikshipta, and Mura. These three levels. Whatever, wherever you see, all the people of this world, they are within this three level of mind. They are in Shipta, scattered. They are Vikshipta. They have all transformed from consciousness to matter, and they have thought that this is the only reality, and thus they are all befooled. Now, when everybody is in this point of being fooled, there are some people who understands that this cannot be the reality. There might be something different. This might not be truth. There should be another truth, and that is why all these scientific experiments have started. The rishis, the munis, they have also started to look for another reality which is beyond this reality. So there will be some mind who will seek the actual reality beyond this reality, who will seek something else than what they experience. So what happens to them when they seek this? They somehow come in contact with a person who can help them in this endeavor. These people are called masters, teachers. These people are called guru. So they come in contact with these people who can actually show them the way by which they can reach the actual reality. So what does the teacher do? The teacher talks about the fourth state of mind, the fourth level of mind. The teacher says that you don't need to do anything. The only thing that you have to do is to concentrate in one point. Ekagra. Ekagra means to concentrate. And that is why, when we go to a guru, the guru either gives us a mantra, the guru either tells us to meditate, the guru either tells us to do something where my mind is concentrated into one point. So why is this? Because my mind was scattered. That is why it has created this reality to me. This reality which is in front of me today is because of the very basic character of my mind to get scattered. So if I have to reach the real state, the real entity, then what I have to do is I have to go in the opposite direction of being scattered. So what is the opposite direction of being scattered? It is concentration. It is to concentrate into one point. So the guru teaches them to concentrate in one point. So this is where the spirituality actually starts. What happens? Like we came to Bhagavan. We came to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a very, very powerful spiritual guru. He is not a guru. He is actually God. In him, there is a huge, infinite spiritual power. There is a power in him about which he is also not aware completely. Means it's like it's like the whole of ocean has come into a small pond or a lake. in this lake, though the lake seems to be small, but in that lake, it is containing the water of the whole ocean. So Bhagavan is like that, in this body, in this human body, in this body of flesh and blood, he is containing this huge, infinite power within him. And perhaps he is also not aware about this power completely, what this power can do and what it cannot, means what and how it works. That power is working through him in whatever way it wants. It whatever way it wants, it's just working through him. So if we are a real disciple of his, we have to let that power work in the way it wants to work. That's all. Now, when we come to Bhagavan, what happens is our mind gets elevated on its own, and that is why we always want to stay close to Bhagavan. Because when we stay close to Bhagavan, we don't need to meditate. We don't need to do any spiritual practice. Just by staying close to Bhagavan, we can see, or just by talking to him, or just by watching him, or just by, just in any way, just a connection with him in some way or the other, we can feel that our mind got elevated instantly. Now, when I was like 24 or 25 years old, at that time, I had already had my samadhi, spiritual realization. So when I had my spiritual realization, it was very deep, and there was a time, there was a substantial amount of time when I was completely, absorbed into that state, and I started to believe that this is very, this has come in my control. This is what I started to believe. But slowly, with time, I saw that my mind was going down. My mind was going to my original level, from where it came. And I could not control it. It was just going down and down and down. So, I tried to control it. I tried to make some meditation. I tried to do something. But I found that it is just out of my control, just going down and down and down. So one day I went to Bhagavan. And I said that, Bhagavan, I have like 3 years, 3 years have passed that I have realized myself. But I see that I don't have any control over my mind. My mind is completely out of my control. What to do? Then he showed me a reality, He showed me, see, your mind is here, and because it came in contact with me, it got elevated to here. And here you had this samadhi. When it came to this point, you had this samadhi. But because your mind has got its tendency, it will come back, because you were originally from here. So that mind has got its tendency. So it will bring you back up to that point. And your mind will go up to that point again. This elevation was because of me. I did this. I did this to you. But from now on, I will not do this. You have to do it yourself. You have to make your mind slowly elevate up to that point. And this is called sadhana. This is actually the point from where a real spirituality happens. Because when your guru is helping you, he is helping you, and a guru like Bhagavan. I'm not talking about a general guru, because a general guru does not have that capacity where he can, hold the mind of a disciple and put it into samadhi. It is not possible. You will not hear this. And that is why whenever you talk about Bhagavan to the people, you will see that people don't understand. This is natural, this is normal. Because they have not seen this. They have not seen it, because this is not normal. This was normal for Thakur Ramakrishna in some way or the other. It was normal for Thakur Ramakrishna. It was normal for Krishna, Ram, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not normal for everybody. A guru, not even for Shankaracharya, a guru and a God incarnate has, they are two completely separate things. They're two completely separate things. God incarnate has a lot of things which, is incomprehensible. You cannot comprehend. It is beyond every reasoning, because he is not using grammar. He is actually using this energy, this huge energy which is in him, is holding you and is putting your mind into that point. So then he said that you have to do it yourself. And that is where the spiritual life began. When I sat down, I asked him how to do this. He said, meditate, calm down your mind. When I started to meditate, I came across a reality. I saw that I could not meditate even for 1 hour. I could not maintain my concentration for 1 hour. Then I shortened that duration. I started to meditate for half an hour. When I started to meditate for half an hour, I saw that I cannot meditate for half an hour also. Then I again, shortened the time from half an hour to 10 minutes. I saw I cannot concentrate. I cannot keep my mind concentrated for 10 minutes also. In this way, when I brought my mind to 1 minute, I saw that even within this 1 minute, my mind is not completely concentrated. There is, there is fluctuation, there is breaking, the concentration breaks. Then I started to meditate every moment, like every second. Then I came to a conclusion that I have never learned to meditate. Now I am going to start meditation. How? I am going to meditate this moment, this moment, because this is the only moment that I have, this present moment. So, I started to keep my concentration in this present moment. And thus this moment brought me to a next moment. And then this next moment, it brought me to the next moment. In this way, slowly, when I kept my concentration for, moment after moment, I saw that it is not the duration of meditation. It is the quality of concentration which is the actual thing. It is irrespective whether you meditate for 10 hours, 20 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, is irrespective. If you can have a concentration of one moment in your entire day, you will see that you have done the greatest justice for yourself as far as spiritual practice is concerned. This one moment of meditation will bring you